11th hour, 11th day, 11th month, Veterans Day, Armistice Day, ending of World War One. My grandfather fought in World War One. Again, you try. I know a lot of kids are off from school, banks are closed, stock market's open. Try to remind your kids the sacrifices that have been made on their behalf and what it means. Do anything you need. That's what you really need to do. Is you got to get this across to your kids. I quick recommendation as well. I saw last week, and I forgot. I meant to tell everybody here on the podcast. The remake of All's Quiet on the Western Front. It's actually a German film. It's on Netflix right now. It's outstanding. It's outstanding. So I highly recommend checking that out if you got the time. Anyway, let's get into things. We're going to start off today, obviously talking about markets going wild. That's right. Markets going wild. Markets racing through the roof. We had the CPI number come out yesterday. We discussed that. And it's eased a bit. And you're also starting to see some dissent. I don't call it dissension in the ranks. I'd say that you get differing opinions from different Fed governors about what to do next. It was an op-ed today in the Wall Street Journal, and they're pointing out that it's eased a little bit, but it's still bloody high. It really is. It's still high, and I agree. Core inflation. This is take food, energy out, 6.3. Down from 6.6. You're getting some things that are coming down. Appliances are coming down. A lot of this might have to do with the housing market is starting to cool. And some aspects of this number, I think, quite frankly, would be lower. But when you take a look, services are still very high. But food and energy prices rose by 0.6% and 1.8% on a monthly basis. The bare necessities, the things that are actually important when it comes to inflation, are not coming down. What's that app? Nextdoor. It's some kind of like neighborhood app, social media. People in your neighborhood, get these kids, got to get the ball off the lawn. It's usually a lot of nonsense on there. But sometimes, I'll get it. It comes via an email or something like that. Latest posting. I got people in my neighborhood, in and around my neighborhood, freaking out because they're getting their oil delivered, heating oil delivered, and they can't believe what they're paying. Yeah, it doesn't have to be this way. You voted for this. We collectively voted for this. You put people in power. We could have natural gas to all these homes. We got plenty of it here in the state of New York. We don't build pipelines. We need to increase the supply of oil. Yesterday on the program, we talked about, EVs, and even if, 500 million EVs hit the road, it's only going to save 10% in oil usage. People, okay? Energy is what makes the world go round, okay? This is why the people that are involved in those commodities have yachts that are not yachts, they're ships. There's a reason behind it. The Fed can't do a damn thing about this. What the hell is higher interest rates going to do to bring the cost of food down, to bring the cost of energy down? It's not. It would have to really bring the cost of energy down, it would have to do enormous damage to the economy. I'm talking massive, and there's no point in doing this. There's no point in it. You would have to put this country into I wouldn't even call it a recession, almost a depression, where economic activity drops to such a low level, goes backwards, that people, they don't travel, they don't do anything anymore. They're not going to want to get on an airplane. You got to shrink the economy. That is the only way. Really shrink it. in order to get the price of oil down. That's the only way the Fed can do it. They're not going to go out and drill. They're not going to go out and frack. That's the reality. We've been trying to get this across for some time now. Anyway, more, the stories keep coming. It's a very, very fluid situation we got going on right now. This Sam Bankman-Fried, he stepped down as CEO. Stepped down as CEO of the company. Company's going to declare bankruptcy. From what I know right now, there's about $10 billion missing. The try to break down exactly what happened here. They lent billions of dollars worth of customer assets to a trading platform that this Sam Bankman-Fried also owned. It's called Alameda. And they had some very risky bets. This has been done before in a different way. I don't know if you recall. Former CEO, Goldman Sachs, governor of New Jersey, Senator John Corzine takes over MF Global, commodities trading company, and he took it over and he took it down. That was one of the biggest bankruptcies. People don't even remember that. One of the biggest bankruptcies during the financial crisis. It had nothing to do with housing. It had to do with commingling of funds. Again, if you are a first week employee at an investment bank, a bank, you don't do that. Okay? That's the rules of Fight Club, like rule number 1, never talk about Fight Club. Well, when it comes to financial service, comes to banking, rule number 1 is you do not commingle firm funds with client funds. Again, people, you got guys. I mean, yesterday I saw an interview with Carl Icahn. Carl Icahn was, basically doing the whole I don't get it routine when it came to crypto. We did it here on the program. Yeah, I always go to the movie Big with Tom Hanks, and he's sitting there in the conference room with all the executives from the toy company, and one of the big wigs is there, and he's trying to explain this new toy that he's got. It's a building that turns into a robot, and he's like, I don't get it. How is it fun? I don't get any of these cryptocurrencies. If I had my way, I mean, we put warning labels on everything in life nowadays. You might want to put a biohazard warning on cryptocurrency. Yeah. But now it's contagion now because now you got another one here. Crypto lender BlockFi suspends withdrawals now because there's going to be some blowback here and there. It's funny, you're watching some of these crypto, I guess you want to call them prophets. You see them on TV talking the wonders of crypto with their tail between their leg today. Well, this has to happen. This is the same thing that happened during the dot-coms. No, it's not. It's not even close. You've got nothing backing these currencies. Zip, zero, zilch, nada. I don't know what to tell you. Stupid is as stupid does. No, Tom Hanks, again, twice, one segment. How about that? I don't know what to tell you. People, listen. You're going to be lined up. You're going to be lined up trying to get money out of a bankruptcy court. You're never going to get it. You're not going to see shit. Oh, yeah, and all these, interesting, a lot of these companies are set up offshore. You had the former SEC chairman who was being interviewed today, and he actually mentioned one of the more difficult things that he had to do when he was SEC chair was try to sort out the Allen Stanford debacle with all the CDs, the Bank of Antigua. Again, one of the things that we warned people of, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But what did people do? They did it. And then they get their money back? They made whole? No. And again, you're dealing with foreign governments. You're dealing with different rules and regulations. Good luck with getting your money back. People, I become a bit of a market and economic Darwinist, if you will. I have. Again, everybody's trying to get rich quick, man. Just don't do it. Don't do it. All right. I had a rough evening. I mean by rough evening. I was beside myself. I would up my office. It was probably 6, 7 o'clock. 6, 7 o'clock last night. We were doing dinner a little bit later. My son had his. They do like a dinner, football team dinner before game day, and doing homework here, and I start seeing more stories coming out, things that Donald Trump is saying about Ron DeSantis, and some of them today. He's claimed he called in the FBI to help him win. Today, I'm not making this up. He went after Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. He wrote in his tweet, "Young space kin." Sounds Chinese, doesn't it? We're dealing with, not only dealing with a child, okay? You're dealing with a nasty child. Okay? You're dealing with a child that is mean and nasty. That's what you're dealing with. His name sounds Chinese. Yeah. More and more I'm hearing from people in leadership positions, Republican Party, basically pushing back. We'll see. We'll see. Again, these people are involved in politics, which means they're mercenaries. If they're getting paid by a candidate, they'll support that candidate. That's just what they do. And they're going to see where the money is and where their bread is buttered. But Donald Trump is basically wrecked the Republican Party. And well, you know what? When you have that many Republicans out there that have no spine or are afraid of the guy, actually call him out on his BS. Few did. No doubt about it. Few went after him. Okay, and again, I think, in regards to the impeachment stuff, I think that was ridiculous. It was, just as much as I thought it was ridiculous to go after Bill Clinton. Stupid. But now it's nuts. And I guess he's insistent he's going to make a I don't know, is that Tuesday? He's planning on announcing his candidacy. So basically, you're not going to win, okay? There's no way, there's not a chance in hell, okay, that he is going to win in 2024. Yeah, Biden will win. But I'm at the point right now. I'm a never Trumper. I admit it. I actually, I was so bent out of shape. I'm reading all these things that he's saying and doing yesterday, and I was pissed. I started second guessing. I started playing What If. Remember I talked about choose your own adventure books? I started playing what if Hillary Clinton won back in 2016? Where would we be right now as a country? And again, I get it. And I mentioned, the Supreme Court justices that were put in place. And I think that's going to be probably his greatest legacy. But we worry about Joe Biden. We worry about Joe Biden and the way he acts and the fluffs that he has that everybody points out. I mean, you see what's coming out of this guy's mouth right now? You think that's gonna be in any way, shape, manner, or form that's good for the country? That's healthy for our nation? And it is the antithesis of Ronald Reagan, the exact opposite. Anyway, couple editorials I wanted to talk about today. First one is Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney had, and again, I've been critical of Mitt Romney in the past, but I like what he said in this op-ed today in the Wall Street Journal. And he talks about what Republicans need to do. He used Robert Frost, take the road less traveled. You're going to go one direction or the other direction. And he hopes, and I hope as well, that the road that Republicans are going to try to travel on now would be the one that to actually pass legislation to make things better here in the country. He says the more tempting and historically more frequented road would be to pursue pointless investigations, messaging bills, threats, and government shutdowns. The road we choose could make all the difference. And he talks about the exit polls and the concerns of Americans. And he actually points out, he says, we need to fix immigration. We need to have at least 1 million new immigrants come into the country. It will help ease inflation. It's something that I agree with 110%. Also talks about entitlement reform. Talks about the amount of spending that takes place and the size of our budget. But again, what is the 10,000 pound gorilla in the room? It's all the entitlements that are there. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. We got to come up with something to get these things under control because they just keep growing. And he makes, several different things that Republicans could put forward and actually work with, maybe possibly work with Democrats on. But I don't know. We'll see. How about the fact that Peggy Noonan mentions this in her piece? I want to talk about Peggy's piece as well. The fact that it's Friday. The election was on Tuesday. How the blank have we not finished this by now? And Peggy gives kudos to Florida. Take a look at the state of Florida. State of Florida, big state, large population, 2 time zones. There's 2 time zones in the state of Florida. Yet, guess what? A lot of the reforms that they put forward, again, they learned their mistakes back from Bush versus Gore. And lickety-split, they can get those results out. How is it that these states can't figure it out? I mean, go back and watch Sesame Street, my favorite Sesame Street character. The Count. One vote. Two votes. I mean, you guys can't count? Is it really that hard? And the problem is as well, is we're looking for trouble. Okay? That's by delaying the vote, okay, and Peggy mentions this as well. It lends itself to conspiracies. I saw somebody with I think it was a box of ballots come out of one of the things and put it in the trunk of their car. And that gets passed around to person to person to person. It's trouble. You're looking for trouble. It's pathetic. It really, really is. But anyway. Again, Peggy mentioning it, talking about the MAGA movement and Donald Trump taking it in the face. And basically giving it. We've gone over this. We've gone over the scorecard. I don't want to do it again. But yeah, I have to admit, like I said, I was really, I was depressed last night. I was depressed. I was angry. I was angry at Donald Trump. What the hell is wrong with you, man? Get those shows on. Get those shows on the nature stage. The most poisonous snakes. The most poisonous snake in the United States is Donald Trump. Or he's almost like that dinosaur that spews venom in Jurassic Park. Anyway, go away, man. Just go away. All right, we got some business quick hits I want to go through. Amazon, and we told you they're doing this. I was just shocked at how much money Alexa loses. $5 billion a year. $5 billion. Andy Jassy he's going through. He's making a list and he's checking it twice and he's going straight through with that. And he's cutting back as much as he possibly can. I mean, they did a profitability push. I think it was like 2017, 2018. They're doing it again. And that's what smart businesses do. Smart businesses during slowdowns, this is what you do. You come out on the other side stronger. Federal judge in Texas struck down the Biden student loan forgiveness program. Again, the Biden administration is going to appeal it. So who knows how long that this is going to last for. But the point is that who the hell are you to declare and decree? This is something that has to go through the legislature. And I agree. The president of the United States can wave his magic wand and make debt go away. Anyway, Biden administration's coming out. The inflation we talked about eased off a little bit. They're taking credit for it. Taking credit for it. You know what it reminded me of? Taking credit of. Sorry, I just thought about this. I remember back when I was in high school football, and after a game we have a big win, and cheerleaders. You wouldn't have done it without us. Right. Sure. That's it. That's why inflation is coming down due to you, Joe. But the funny thing is about Democrats, and you got to hand it right now. I mean, they love collecting taxes. They want higher taxes. They're setting records. How come they never come out and spike the football when the numbers come out when it comes to taxes and they continue to collect record taxes? Never. We got October, federal government collected a record $318,576,000,000. Ding, ding, another record. Wow, how about that? They never come out and spike the football when it comes to that, do they? Anyway, I guess trying to make sense what's going on in the Ukraine right now. Russia's pulled out of Kherson. Some talk that there's a possibility of getting some sort of negotiation. God willing, I hope so. I did see an interview with the Hungarian foreign minister, and it was actually on a Jordanian television program, and he was going off and talking about all of the sanctions that have been put on Russia and how they haven't worked. They were originally designed to make this war end quickly, bringing Russia's economy to its knees. It hasn't done that. And he makes the point that the war is getting more and more violent and more dangerous. And he also mentioned the fact, talking about what it's done to Europe. Europe's economy is screwed. There's just no other way around it. I mean, there's certain countries that they're starting to certain ones are starting to drill a little bit more, starting to do a little bit more. But when you have your energy costs you go up in ways that you've never seen before, you're just shutting down. And we talked about how this could force the deindustrialization of Europe. Well, think about that for a second. What does that mean? Is it going to turn it into one big theme park? They're gonna have to buy more of those cruise ships, do more river cruises around Europe. Is that all that they're going to do? Is it going to become a bloody theme park? A story out of the UK. Britain's businesses are running out of fight as country faces longest ever recession. It's so bad over in the UK that they're predicting a recession through 2025. You've got people in the hospitality industry, there's certain times a year, you have various different inns and whatnot that open up. They're not taking bookings. They're going to wait until things get much warmer because they can't afford to operate because the energy costs are so high. And story after story I see here. My energy bills. This is some guy, beer manufacturer. What's it up from a year ago? Yeah. 60,000, 80,000. I mean, it's just one after another. And at some point in time, you can't run the business anymore. You can pass costs on down to the consumer to a certain extent. And that's it. You hit a point. It's one of these things. I can take a look at certain businesses and like small businesses and restaurants. I tell people all the time, I want to open a restaurant. I got this spot over here. And I take a look at it. I see what they want to do. And I say, oh, geez, what are the energy costs? Okay, well, what is it going to cost in summertime to keep the air conditioning on? What's the rent? Stand out in front of the actual restaurant and count people. How many people walk by on any given day? All these things are important that you need to look at. And right now, that continent over there, they can't afford to operate. They can't afford it. It's just dire for Europe. Anyway, quickly on this one before we go. Oh, this is some kind of a joke. The markets in China were through the roof today because they eased up on COVID restrictions. You call it that. Again, I get it. I guess the markets are anticipating that they're going to do more to ease up, but this is China's version of easing up. Instead of making travelers stay at a centralized quarantine facility for 7 days upon arrival in the country, the new rules stipulate a 5-day quarantine. That's followed by 3 days of home observation. And again, if you get sick, the people closest to you have to be quarantined. But before it was the closest to the closest of you. They've taken the closest to the closest of you away. Does that make anybody want to get on a plane? Oh yeah, sure. I got to go, guys. I'm going to go to China so I can sit in a hotel for 5 days and then, I don't know, stay there another 3 to be observed. Are you out of your freaking mind? This is nothing. But I guess for China, it's something. It's something. And I guess they're kind of hoping that markets are kind of hoping that they'll continue to ease off. Man, at this rate, geez, maybe in 10 years, they'll be back to normal. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. Have a great day.